I'm Escalator Death Horror, member of the Mechanically Separated Chicken Poetry Collective, and leader of the multitude of marijuana scientists. And today, you're here to learn about weed. Now, I haven't put together notes or anything, but I kind of think I know enough to just kind of give a lecture, and so I decided why not give a lecture. I'm gonna try to disperse knowledge as much as possible. And this camera angle sucks, but it's whatever. So to start, um, where to start? I guess different types of weed. So, when you start off, you have different strains, as in different breeds, varieties. They have different chemical contents. They're not all the same. And the three general varieties are indicas, sativas, and hybrids. So, to describe each, with their effects and how they differ. So sativas generally, when they grow, they're not bushy at all. They're not dense in terms of growth. They're very, just large, bushy, not dense buds. So you don't really get too much bud weed from a sativa when you grow it. But also, a sativa is the heady high. It's the creative. It's the I'm gonna put energy towards doing something. It's the you know the motivating kind of high. I would describe it as you want to listen to music and you're gonna interpret the meaning of music, or you're gonna art, or you're gonna do something creative or new. That's generally what a sativa is. And you feel it in your head. Make you talkative, might make you talk at 1,000 miles per minute, but that's generally how they make you feel. They can, because of the way they act and the way it increases your heart rate. Sativas are known for making people anxious sometimes because weed is a depressant, but it does raise your heart rate, and so for some people that can be too much. Also, because of the increased levels of serotonin in your brain from smoking weed, it can cause you to feel really anxious, because some people just aren't used to that, and so it's too much for them. It's overwhelming. Other than sativas, you have indicas. Indicas are the body high. Indicas are the I'm gonna sit on the couch. Indicas are the I'm gonna eat a pound of ice cream. They're the I'm gonna sleep for 18 hours kind of weed. It's generally, body relaxing. They produce very dense buds, so people, generally grow indicas. Even the sativas are usually sativa dominant hybrids between an indica and a sativa. Um, yeah, it'll make you sit on the couch and all that. Generally, that's kind of how it'll make you feel. It might make you sleepy. It will make you relaxed. It's certainly pain relief, anxiety. I would say in general the indicas are more medical than sativas, because an indica it's going to make you relax. It's going to actually it'll help with your anxiety. It'll help with your pain. I guess it's more medical. And then in the middle you have hybrids, which are a balance of both effects. Balance of heady, balance of body. They can be more body than heady. It's just it varies. And hybrids, they grow, you know, like both sativas and indicas. So you have more dense buds in general, which is positive. It's the types of weed. I guess the chemicals that make up weed would be next. So you have FedEx truck. Alright, so the main ones are THC and CBD, the two main cannabinoids in weed. Cannabinoids, not attack, I wouldn't say attack, that's not really the right word. Bind to, enjoy, your endocannabinoid receptors, because everyone has an endocannabinoid system inside them. Your body kind of does this naturally. THC and CBD and stuff, other terpenes mimic the natural the natural endocannabinoids in your body. Um, and so, I'm not gonna like explain exactly what every cannabinoid does, but I can explain CBD in particular. It does a few things. So CBD is it's the cool weed. It's diet weed. Um, it's like a big hipster thing. I am this. I mean, I'm a hipster for it too. I think it's pretty cool. And my dog's outside now too. He's cool. Yeah, I am the CBD bro essentially because CBD, it helps with pain. It's a pain relief terpene. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. It actually makes you alert on its own. But when you fall asleep, it will help you sleep. It helps with anxiety. It helps with yeah, just mainly like pain, anxiety. Um, I guess general mood. Um, Sorry for the filler words. It's hard to organize my thoughts unscripted. So yeah, you have THC, CBD. THC is the main thing that it makes you high. Then you have CBD, another cannabinoid, helps it interacts with that. And then you have the other terpenes, and I've used the word without explaining it, but terpenes are just other and cannabinoids, and what they do are they modify the high. They are alright, so think of THC and CBD as like a chicken, an unseasoned chicken. You can just cook a chicken, you can boil a chicken, and you can eat a boiled chicken, but it wouldn't taste good, and it would kind of suck. And much that's kind of what it's like. And terpenes are essentially the seasoning. It's what makes it taste different when you're smoking it, and it also changes the way it makes you feel. So for example, limonene is a sativa terpene. It's I forget exactly what it does, but limonene's gonna it makes it more heady, and it's generally in lots of sativas. So words. I guess that's generally terpenes. Alright, so methods of ingestion. I can talk about methods of ingestion. So smoking weed, you have your general combusting weed. So what happens when you're smoking weed is you are turning the THCA into THC by combusting it, and you're breathing in that smoke is gets you high because it absorbs into your lungs, into your bloodstream, into your brain. Terpene myrcene actually helps with crossing the blood-brain barrier and gets you high like faster. Like so, if you eat a mango, which actually has myrcene in it, it will help get you higher, like before you smoke weed. Other things that have like terpenes in it naturally are like peppercorn has one of them. Pine has pinene, of course. Limonene is found in citrus. Stuff like that. Linalool is I think like flowery, and that's in lavender maybe. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, also quick inhaling tutorial because some people just don't really know how to inhale. So what you do when you're smoking your weed is you breathe in the weed. You're not trying to like pull it into your mouth. You're trying to pull it into your lungs. You're trying to go. So like you're not like sipping a straw. You're more like inhaling a straw. And when you do that, pull it into your lungs, and then after don't like fill up your lungs, breathe in fresh air afterwards to like pull the rest of the smoke that's like usually would be sitting in your throat into your lungs. Because if you don't do that, you're wasting some of it, and you might not get high. You could just be you don't want to smoke a joint or something like you're smoking a cigarette. It's not the same. Alright, so you have smoking. Yeah, you can roll a joint, roll blunt, bong, which is a water pipe. It's just the smoke is filtered through water, which can make it just hit smoother. Usually, that's why people do it. You can take really Like, you can ingest large amounts of weed really quickly with a bong, and that's why people use them. Joints and bullets are kind of wasteful. They don't actually get you as high as smoking with a bong or pipe, but the thing is, they're still cool. Um, and so smoking, then there's dry herb vaping. Dry herb vaping is when you take the weed and you heat it up in a combustion chamber. You'll get like a desktop vaporizer or like a portable one. Put it in there, and what it does is it heats up the weed so that it vaporizes the oils that are on there, vaporizes all the THC and the terpenes without actually combusting it, because the temperatures at which THC vaporizes are a lot lower than combustion. So when you're smoking weed, you're wasting a lot of it. In general, smoking's very wasteful. Dry vaping, it's a different kind of high, but it also is more efficient. There's also concentrates. I'll talk about concentrates before edibles. It's challenging. This is a lot of knowledge. I need water, but I have no water. This sucks. No, wait, I can pause it. Alright, water has been obtained. Always remember, hashtag stay hydrated. So with concentrates are, concentrated oils and stuff from weed. There are many different kinds of concentrates. I'll start with hash. Hash is when you take the weed, essentially, and you sift off all the trichomes, which are like small, like, I guess, bubbles. They're like grains of sand that hold the oils, and you take it, you shake it off, and you essentially compress it. And so it's just concentrated weed oil with a little bit of plant matter left in there. And so that's usually not done that much anymore. People don't really do hash that much. It's mostly other forms of concentrates now. The other forms of concentrates besides hash, which you smoke, are dabs. Dabbable concentrates, and those would be butane hash oil, CO2, rosin. Those are the main types. I distill it as well, but I don't know why anyone would want to distill it. It sucks. I'll explain in a minute. So butane hash oil is extracted using butane. It is it's weed, the weed oils with a few other lipids in there. I don't want to get into exactly how it's extracted, but it's complicated. Other than then there's CO2 extraction, which is similar to butane hash oil. It's just using CO2. It's different. Then after that is rosin, and what rosin is it is oil that is created when you press weed with temperature and pressure. Of course, you're using a hydraulic press, like a warm hydraulic press, and what you do is you press it, and it presses out all the oils, and that's rosin. It's completely solventless. It's just the oils. And then what you do is you dab it, you vaporize it in a wax pen or in a dab rig. What's next? Edibles. Like final segment for now for Weed 101. I can probably talk about more whenever I write notes about it. So edibles, I haven't explained so much, honestly. This kind of sucks, but I hope I've put some knowledge across. So edibles. So, alright, when you eat weed, you don't get high because it's THCA. That's what's in weed normally. You have to turn it into THC by heating it, and that's usually done with combustion. It naturally turns the THCA into THC. But if you just eat weed, it won't get you high because it's still THCA. So you have to do what's called decarbing, because you're removing a carboxyl group. It's pretty cool. You put it. You heat it, and then it turns that into that. And when you eat that form of THC, known as delta non-THC, it's metabolized by your liver into 11-hydroxy-THC, and 11-hydroxy-THC is more soluble by your bloodstream, gets into your brain faster, and it's actually more potent. So unlike other drugs where the metabolites are actually can be less powerful, eating weed makes it more powerful. Tolerance between THC, delta 9 THC, and 11 hydroxy THC cross over a little bit, but not exactly. And so you can smoke a bunch of weed and then eat a little bit of edibles and you'll still get high. Um, so oh yeah. I guess how to make them. So you take your weed, however much of it you have, weigh it out, figure out how much you have in milligrams, and then you put it in the oven. You grind it up, hand grind it. I wouldn't do whole buds, and I wouldn't like pulverize it either. Just like grind it a little bit, or break it apart with your hands. And you put it in a mason jar, seal it, put it in the oven for 250 degrees, 30 minutes. And halfway through that process, you have to take it out, open it up, and burp the pressure. Because otherwise, what happens is it will explode. Because it's off gassing some CO2. I mean, it's not gonna like explode, but you just want to make sure. You seal it in a mason jar, by the way, so it doesn't smell, because it'll be very stinky otherwise. Then after that, you take coconut oil and you put it in there. I use an ounce to a cup. So if you have an ounce of flour, you have a cup of coconut oil. Or if you're using concentrates like hash or any of the other ones, I would do less if you want to make a more powerful oil, or more if you want to have just just a cup of oil with like I don't know, just yeah. You have weak oil if you don't put a lot in. Then you put that in for 220 degrees for 1 to 3 hours. 3 hours, it'll be more like body, because some of the THC will have degraded into CBN, which is another cannabinoid that makes you sleep. When weed gets old, the THC degrades into CBN, and it just makes you tired. It doesn't really get you high. So yeah, you do that, and then you have infused coconut oil. What you have to do is you have to strain it using like cheesecloth. Use like 2 layers of cheesecloth, pour it in, squeeze it all out. So you're just separating the oil from the pulp. You can eat the pulp. It doesn't have that much like THC left in it, but it still does have a little bit left. So you can still eat it. Put it in like a smoothie or something. What else? Oh yeah, then you take that and so you put it in the freezer overnight, because something with crystallization, I forget actually, but it helps make it more potent, helps it set a little bit. And when you're putting it into anything, putting it into chocolates, putting it into like any recipe, make sure you use soy lectin or sunflower lectin. It's an emulsifier, and what happens is it helps the THC bind to like fats better, and so it just helps it absorb in your bloodstream better. So it just makes it more powerful. It'll absorb faster. It'll hit harder. If you don't use soy lectin, you're kind of wasting it. Actually, I'd honestly say, because just of how beneficial having soy lectin is in your coconut oil. You don't store the coconut oil. You don't put it in right away. You put it in when you're making like your chocolate or whatever. Or if you're gonna make it into a tincture, you can, I guess, put it in the oil. Yeah, that's about all for now. If I have more knowledge later, and I'll organize it.